I'm Ben Cosgrove, I'm a Senior Project Coordinator at ARRMA RC, and this is the Kraton 8S. The ARRMA KRATON 8S has been designed to be easy to work on, whether it's removing a motor or removing a centre differential. I'm going to show you how to remove the motor. So first of all, you want to unplug the motor wires from the speed control and unplug the motor fan as well. Then you need a 2.5mm hex driver, and you remove the first screw on the outside. And then the next one you want to just undo a little bit. Then you need to turn the car over. You need to go inside this keyed area of the chassis, the access hole. And again, only a little bit. Turning back over, you can then see that the motor can easily move. Once you've slid past the end, you can go back over and remove this screw through the gap in the chassis. Which allows this screw to clear the gear cover and is removed. Once this has happened, then the motor unit just slides straight out. Now you don't have to remove your motor to take out the centre power module, but it's just an illustration of how easy it is to do it. So next you need to remove your centre braces. Now our centre braces, they have body clip retained body clips. So you undo both of those. You go to the back of the car and you undo both of those. Go back to the front. The pins slide out, as so. And you want to do the rear as well. And then this allows you to take out the tower-to-tower brace. And removing the front brace. And the rear brace. So now you can turn the car over to access the lower screws. For this you will need a 4mm hex driver. And there are 5 screws. Make sure when you take the last screw out that you place your hand underneath to catch the power module. So I'll just turn the car back over. Once you've removed your screws, you can also remove the inner clip and the brace post for the rear chassis brace. Sometimes it's just easier to push it through. And then your rear brace is completely off as well. Now you need to pick up the power module, place it towards the back, pull out the front drive shaft first, and then slide the module out. This leaves the whole car assembled, front and rear ends, and you just have your power module. To access the centre differential from the power module, there are 5 screws that you need to remove. These are all 3mm hex heads. Once you've removed the 5 screws, the gearbox case will come off. Then you'll be able to access your centre differential. Now it's worth noting at this point that there is a rubber gasket seal, and these are present in all 3 gearboxes, front, rear and centre, and these help to keep the dirt out of the gearboxes on the seal between the chassis and the gearbox. The centre differential is filled with 1 million weight CST oil. If you want to go to a thinner oil, you will get less acceleration, but you will also get more tyre growth when you're wheeling. If you want to go to a thicker oil, you will get more acceleration and the tyre growth will be reduced when you're wheeling. We recommend that you rebuild your centre differential with 1 million CST oil. We find that's the best all-round driving performance. The ARRMA KRATON 8S centre differential features steel end caps, steel main gear, steel internal gears, steel cross shaft inserts, and a red aluminium anodised centre case. This is a very durable differential unit. Within the power module, we have steel gear for the lay shaft and a steel spur gear. Fully ball race throughout the module, so it's very reliable, very tough. When rebuilding your centre differential, we recommend 7 grams of 1 million CST oil. When rebuilding your power module, you want to make sure that the red part of the diff case goes in first, like so. Then you can see that the gears will line up. Then you take your gearbox case, making sure there's a bearing inside. This is very important. This bearing can fall out during maintenance, so make sure your bearing is inside. And reassemble the 2 cases together. And then you need to use your 3mm hex driver. And reassemble the unit. Once all the 5 screws are in, the unit will be very smooth and very free. Don't forget to reinstall your rubber gasket to the bottom of the diff case. This is keyed in, so it's simple to install. Now, as mentioned earlier, the motor doesn't need to be disassembled for this step. So I'm going to refit the motor now so I can show you how everything goes back into the car. To install the motor, you need to slide it into the motor mount, as so. Taking your 2.5mm hex driver. We recommend installing thread lock on these screws. Screw the screw closest to the centre of the car first. And then you can place the lower one inside. Leave these slightly loose for the moment. And then the 3rd screw mounts in the top. Again, leave this loose. This gives you the motor installed, and now you need to set the gear mesh. It's a sliding mount, so you need to make sure that you have a little bit of backlash. That's just about right. So then you want to tighten the 3 screws that hold the motor in. These need to be very tight. Once you've tightened the screws, just make sure that your gear mesh is correct and everything is nice and free. Then you're ready to install it back into the car. To install the power module back into the car, first of all, you need to make sure that the rear drive shaft on the center is in the outdrive. And then seat it inside. Take the front drive shaft and wiggle it back towards the outdrive. Once the power module is in place, then you need to take the rear chassis brace and install it back onto the center gearbox. So you go under the center tower, line it up so it's in position, take the shorter brace pin, press it through, find your body clip and clips in. So just be careful when you're doing that. Once you've installed the rear center brace, you need to turn the car over to put the screws in. I'm just going to put one in to help for the purpose of the video. So now we can install all 5 screws. You need to use thread lock on the front 3 screws that go into the aluminium motor plate. And then the 2 rear screws. You want to make sure these, especially the first 3 screws we put in, they need to be very tight. Okay, now they're installed, you can turn the vehicle back over. And it's time to install the braces. To install the front brace, you need to take the longer of the brace pins and insert it through the lower hole on the side. Take the clip, that's your front brace installed. For the rear, you want to take the shorter brace pin, go into the lower of the 2 holes in the shock tower, line everything up, press it through. Take the body clip and clip it on like so. Then you take your tower to tower brace, you feed it through the hole in the center tower structure, and then it will slot into position in the upper holes on your shock towers. Take the shorter brace pins and again push them through. Take your body clip, put it through the brace pin hole, clip it tight. Again, last one, push it through, body clip into the hole and tight. So now you have your power module installed, your tower to tower brace installed, and your front and rear chassis braces installed. The final stage is to reconnect the motor. So with the motor wires on the motor, you have markings A, B and C. When installing your motor wires, you need to go A to A, B to B, and C to C. And then finally, your motor fan needs to be plugged back in, as so. And now your power module is reinstalled. I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to learn more about the Kraton 8S, then check out the links in the description box below. See you next time.
ARRMA RC. Designed fast, designed tough.